Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Richard, back again, taking forever to do another video, but here's the second installment of the Battle of the Bulge.
We got a man down!
Now, as I've been gathering pieces, I finally got everything to go ahead and start the church without taking apart the castle, which means I had to make a bunch of more pick-a-brick orders. Now, the church will be the first iconic building in the city of Bastogne and one of the coolest backstories of any of them. This church really got noticed from being in the show Band of Brothers, where it worked as a shelter and an aid station. I really wanted to capture a lot of the damage that I found in some of the pictures, and will be including damage from the actual show. So I basically had to go back and start watching the show again and look at clips and kind of pause them and see where damage was and how some of the blowouts look. And I think I nailed a lot of it. Now, there is still a lot of detail missing from this. I won't be able to lay down any of the rubble on the ground until I got some of those dark tan pieces from my other pick-a-brick order that I placed, because once again, I am really trying to start this and move forward without taking apart the castle. And there is a crap ton of pieces that I could be using for this in the castle. One of the reasons why it took me so long to make this video was I placed a huge order on Lego's Pick-a-Brick, and I got a bunch of these 16 by 16s in. Now, these are light bluish gray, and it's not what I needed. I actually needed dark bluish gray, so I had to place another order. And now that I've got the dark bluish gray ones, I've realized that I also need a lot of dark tan to start these roads. So I did make a mistake and order the wrong color, but I've been trying to keep moving forward with what I can, and I've basically screwed up by doing that. I made the church and thought the church was almost done, so then I started to add the roof, and I realized the church wasn't wide enough, so I did have to widen it almost 6 studs, which meant I had to tear it all down and start over. But now that it is bigger, I am really happy with the way it looks, and I think it looks really good with a tank or a vehicle sitting next to it. One of the things I want to do is go back and add all this stained glass in. So I hit up Victor because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the ones from Brick Warriors. And I've tried to figure out what colors most kind of match what it used to be. And from the pictures I found of what it looked like in 1944 or past, it just doesn't look, I can't tell. I don't know what they are. So I did find a picture of the church today and went inside and seen kind of how they look. And they're all that reddish blue with a little bit of yellow mixed in. So I'm really thinking I'm going to use the Lion Knights, which is good because those colors will really make it pop off the gray and white that I have, because the whole building's gray, snow is white. So any kind of little blue or red is really going to make that building stand out. Now, we'll be going inside and adding pockets to where the damaged areas are to show more detail and not just have a big gaping hole in the side of the building. So that's going to be one of the things I have to do. I don't want you to see any kind of the structure on the inside. I want all of it to look just as clean as possible. And with this church, one of the trickiest things I've had to do was figure out how I'm going to attach this roof. So remember, this church is built on 4 different mills plate sections, which means I've taken these plates, I kind of designed them to know how they're going to fit inside of the boxes that I transport them in. And the church is going to exceed all of that. So with it being built on 4, one of the things I've had to do is figure out how to take it all apart, put it together, and kind of mash it down and include that roof on top. Now, I did have a lot of this stuff to kind of learn from on the castle, so I have came a long ways, but I do need to build that Technic frame that the roof is going to set on. And if you've ever built the UCS Millennium Falcon, that's how I think I'm going to do it. There's going to be a Technic frame, and all the roof pieces are just going to have these little pins or axles sitting down, and they're just going to sit inside of the Technic frame that I build. And hopefully that'll look good. It'll all come together seamlessly, because if not, I'm really going to have to sit down here and just figure out basically how to make it match. Another thing I'll be doing while I'm waiting all these pieces to come in is I was challenged by Lando not to have this build square or rectangle. So I want to kind of freeform the sides and show it to where it's kind of its own thing. And in doing that, it's going to cause a little bit of a problem because, like I said, these were designed to fit in the boxes that they're transported in. So I'm going to have to build these in sections and kind of have them numbered somehow to where when I build them, it can be built backwards and everything lays together. I can put some tiles on top to cover up some of the seams, and it just looks absolutely seamless. So what I'm going to do for the border or for the outside or freeform build, whatever you want to call it, is I'm going to show snow and dirt and kind of the road and everything peeling off in all directions. And it's going to give me a chance to put some cool things, kind of hide some Easter eggs in, and it basically makes this build even bigger. So I have started buying a ton of white slopes. I have been buying all the weapons I'll possibly need for this, and of course I said I wasn't going to have them all perfect caliber, but guess what? I lied. So far, I have the quantity of every weapon that has released that I'll need, but if they happen to be watching, come on, Slam, I need some MG42s. Just print some MG42s. Now, on top of the weapons I've been ordering, I've been placing more and more orders for the fig heads. I want them to all stand out. I want them to look different. You know, when you buy a Brickmania fig, if you buy 10 of them, they're all going to have the same head. So I plan on popping off the heads and putting on different heads to kind of show a lot more in the scenes. I want it to all stand out. I don't want everything to look the same. Like I said, this is going to be the best Battle of the Bulge mock. And with being the best, that does come with a huge price. The U.S. soldiers that Brickmanias came out with that I can use, I've got about 4 or 5 of each. And the same thing with the Germans. I really wish they would release some more Germans because I do need some different types. I'm just going to continue placing orders for what they have right now until they do release some more, or hopefully they release some more. I have seen the stuff from United Bricks, and I did order one of all of theirs just to make sure they kind of match it. And they do kind of have the same look to them, so I might be throwing them in as well. But I'm really trying to keep this strictly Brickmania. I still want, or at least I'm going to say need, about 30 of the 101st Airborne. I really want to sprinkle them all throughout Bastogne because that's who was there. And I'm really hoping that they come out with a really cool printed one. They did release one with a glider that kind of had like a life preserver on. So I did buy 4 of those. And I might just have to work with what I've got there, but I really hope they release another one with not a life preserver and just in their winter outfit. I did try to use these stickers. I bought a ton of blank minifigs off the Legos Pick-a-Brick and then bought the sticker packs from Brickmania, but I don't think they look as good. I think they stand out too much. They're too glossy. I will probably continue to use these for some of the dead soldiers throughout the field, but as of right now, I'm really not leaning forward to having any of them do anything but kind of be the dead soldiers. Now, I do want to introduce something or start something new in this. I've not seen anybody do this before, and I really think this is a good idea. That is showing some history, not only by building some of these buildings and recreating some pictures that I have found. One of the ways I'm going to be doing that is recognizing some of the people that were there. First up, I have a really good friend that's been building Lego for quite some time, the Brigadier. His grandfather, Mr. Robert Fiedler, was from East Orange, New Jersey, and served on a mortar team in the 8th Division. The gentleman had actually never stepped foot on a boat or anywhere outside of the country until he had enlisted. In this build, he will be put with one of the mortar teams in the forest near the tank battle, and to make this guy stand out, I'm using minifig heads that kind of closely resemble the soldiers' pictures that I'm portraying. Now, with this one, I think I absolutely nailed it. I kind of scour the internet and go from all the custom printing companies to look to see what the heads they have, and I find heads that kind of look or is close to resemble the person I'm trying to portray. Now, the next video I do, the minifig I will be trying to build, is actually my great-grandfather that was there and fought in Battle of the Bulge also. So if you have a family member that was in Battle of the Bulge or the Bastogne area and you have pictures of him in uniform or pictures you can get me of him, I will try to find a minifigure head likeness. I would like a little bit of information so I can talk about them. I don't want to tell everybody's whole story about them, but I do want to tell you their name, kind of where they were from, stuff like that. So send me a pic, get me some information, and we can add them in. I do think that's a really cool idea because after all this is built, people will be able to go in here and see their family members and have a little bit of connection with this mock. Now, the next portion I'll be doing is building down the streets from all this. I'll be continuing the road to do some other buildings. I want to build this whole back section and then move forward a little bit in Bastogne. That way I know how everything's going to fit. So the church will be the top left corner. But until I get some of those pick-a-brick orders in, I'm going to be moving forward with the vehicles. The next video that you see next week, which I'm actually filming as I film this, will be nothing but the vehicles. I have about 13 of them so far and about 9 that I need to build. So I want to build them, get them all in an area to where I know what I have and set them all out. And I'll maybe do a video or add a little clip kind of on each one of these videos towards the end where you see the vehicle collection just grow, because a lot of tanks are going to be needed for this, and if you know me, I'm going to need at least 30. But I would like to thank everybody for watching. Sorry it took so long to come out with a video. Remember, if you would like your family member portrayed in this, just send me a little info. Hit me up on Instagram, email me, do whatever you can. But thanks for watching. Peace.